So yeah, DJ Ras Diggy, bro.
Yes, sir. Live and direct.
So I know, you're a DJ first and foremost.
Yes.
Is there anything else you identify yourself as? Like,
Wow. I mean, over the years, I guess I added things to that, like my arsenal of skills.
Which
would
is?
you say DJ, MC.
Right.
I would say I could probably possibly go into sound engineer as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I handle that. Not like on the technical side, like more on like live sound. That side, I would say I'm
I mean,
good.
live sound is technical, but
Okay.
yeah, just not in studio stuff.
Yeah, not like the the all the volume meters and stuff like that. The studio boards and stuff like that. It gets crazy there. That one I ain't ready there, but like setting up live sound, that's definitely somewhere in my plethora that I can do. Let's see. Yeah, that's potential 1% producer.
Yeah.
1%. Not
Yeah.
there yet. Not there yet.
Yeah,
Not
but
yet.
dabbling.
I got Serato Studio. And you kind of helped me through that process of like just messing around with it. Just,
Bro, I didn't do nothing, bro. I was there trying to figure the same shit out with you, bro. I was like, I don't know that. I use FL Studio. Wow. I low key wish you got an FL Studio because then I could just be like, yo, bro, these are the keys. You know what I'm saying?
That was a time, right?
Yeah.
Fruity Loops. Is that a current valid thing now?
Bro, are you kidding me? It's
I don't know. I thought that was like the training wheels to get to the
dog,
big boy.
No, you see, FL has had that stigma for a long time.
Okay.
So it's not like crazy that you're saying that, but it's just like it's surprising to me because I feel like FL's really been it's been the noise has been getting louder and louder for like how serious FL is and how many people use it. Like Mike Dean uses it, Metro Boomin uses it,
Really?
808 Mafia, like all these people.
I was just about to ask you, like, who's in the big leagues that's using that?
A lot.
That's crazy.
Ableton, Logic, and FL Studio are like top 3 for production, I think. And Pro Tools is still like for recording, mixing, mastering. I think it's still a standard, but
okay.
Yeah, bro. FL's always the underdog, bro. And we kind of like that. I feel, but like FL producers, I think, I wear that, but I kind of wish it was understood by now. Like, yo, when are y'all gonna fucking realize?
Yeah,
it's just you know what it is. It's the history of Fruity Loops. I think it's just the name sounded like a joke to people.
Okay, I guess that's why I didn't take it serious. Like Fruity Loops, like it sounded like it's not like something you start off with, like you messed with when you were like in high school or middle school.
Yeah,
that's the kind of vibe that it gave me because I could equate that to like. In the DJ world, that would be considered virtual DJ, and that would be like something you mess with. And I think there's another one on your iPad. It's called DJ, spelled DJAY. That one I would consider, but you know what? Honestly, at the end of the day, if it's making the sound that it needs to make, like, who's to judge where it comes from, But
yeah.
They got the snobs in the industry, they just want to turn up their nose. They say, nah, you got to use the top of the top stuff, but hey, like, yo, if it's making the sound, it's making the sound, right?
Yeah. And Serato Studio, you're no longer alone when it comes to stem separation. FL has that now.
Oh.
I've been using that for the past like few months.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn,
you felt special for a minute.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what happened? Like, we had that, and then just ran off with it. Like,
here, take our patents.
I mean, I get
they
that.
Don't have the patents, I'm sure.
I get it. I mean, listen, I feel like that's also like how AI worked. I remember when ChatGPT first dropped, and now everybody else got their own little thing now. So it's just these things they're so quick.
Yeah, they're gonna be in. It's gonna be in every DAW. It's just Serato Sample was the first thing to have it, and then Serato Studio was the first DAW to have it.
Yeah,
and now FL is really coming up with a lot of features that's like leading the pack. And I mean, it's not perfect. It's not. None of these DAWs. All these DAWs have certain flaws.
So would you say FL Studio would be a good beginner?
I think so. It's about the individual.
Okay.
Like it's what works for you in the way that you think. Because some people just don't get Ableton at all. Like they try it and they're just like, I don't understand this. I don't get it. It's confusing. Yeah. And some people actually feel that way about FL. I've heard, I was just listening to someone say that the other day. But I think most people that I've come across have found FL to be the more like entry level, like friendlier DAW. Okay. You know what DAW stands for, right?
I'm
digital audio workstation. It's just
I've heard the term many times.
Yeah.
But I did not know the full thing to it. Okay. Yeah. But I want to throw you for a loop right now. I'll tell you what I know. Yeah. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Acid music.
Okay.
Acid.
Sony Acid, yeah.
Like I know that because when I got my first personal computer. That was back in like, the 90s. Y'all don't know nothing about that. That's probably like before y'all time. It depends on who's watching, But with that, it was, somewhere I could have just dibble and dabble. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just messing around. They had a couple of like just loops that was just their basic loops, and I was just making just all kinds of stuff. Like I was making rock music. I was making like
you making rock music in Sony Acid?
Yeah, because they had some loops. They just had like
okay.
Just
those
like,
loops couldn't be good at the time either.
I mean,
loops used to be trash. Like before Splice, like
they were
built-in loops or like stock loops used to be trash. Now they're pretty good. But.
I was running them things. It was me and my brother, and we used to just run them things, like just mix them up, put them in different like orders, and we were just like, all right, we're gonna cut the guitar, we're gonna drop the bass, solo the bass. All right, cool. Put a solo here, a guitar solo, some keys, and like. We used to just mess around, and we made some cool stuff, and we made a CD.
I gotta hear these tracks.
Oh
right?
Boy, I can't. I'm still looking for the CD right now. It's lost somewhere in my attic. But I'm still looking for that CD. But it was good times. Like we made some really dope things.
Word.
Yeah, man. I would say 1997 or 8. Yeah, that was my first kind of like. Dipping my toes in that, and then I just disappeared.
That was you dipping your toes into production. So that's what you were, 9 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So were you DJing already too?
Honestly, no.
You started producing before you were DJing, technically.
I would call that messing around. Yeah. I guess I could throw that.
You
in
were
resume,
introduced
right?
to production before you were introduced to DJing.
The idea of like arranging like music and stuff like that, or like different like samples. So I had an idea of it. So it was like, oh, okay, this is cool.
And do you feel like at the time, at that age, were you aware of like a verse, a chorus, or like anything? Because that's like, right? Nah.
No, it was just like what sounds good.
Yeah.
That's it. I you know what it is? It's kind of like how I currently DJ now. Because it's like, I guess I was never traditionally taught like intro, verse, hook, chorus, whatever, breakdown. I wasn't taught any of that stuff. It's kind of like I was self-taught DJ, and I just learned everything on just like, all right, cool. It's whatever sounds good in my ear. So if I hear, all right, cool, like a slow build up, from the start, all right, cool. That's an intro. That's an intro to me. I'm just gonna, all right, cool. And then I'm like, I like this part of the song here. All right, cool. And then I like this part of the song. And then it should change from here. But to know the actual terms and like what it is, did not pick up on any of that stuff.
It's just early. If you don't have no one to actually give you lessons or teach you, like especially this is aging us, but that's really like pre-internet. Like a lot of us didn't have that set up yet. Like I got my first setup when I was like 10 years old. Oh. And then that might have been early. For some people like around our age. So
yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, it was the millennial. millennials only. Understand?
Yeah. Unfortunately, Oh man, oh boy, growing up, man.
you know what I was thinking of recently? It was like how crazy it is that, like, all right, so we're the last generation to grow up without, or like without the computer in the household. Like we experienced a childhood like with that up to a certain point.
That was the best thing that ever happened. Like having that computer in the house,
And then the generation Gen Z, they grew up with the computer in the household, and that's like their thing. And now this like generation Alpha.
Okay. I was trying to figure out what's the current the name for it.
Yeah,
I was like,
I think it's Generation Alpha right
Alpha,
now.
I believe
I don't
so.
know.
Yeah.
I think they give that by default, and then if you earn a title or like baby boomers, or millennials, we didn't really earn that. That was we just happened to be around when the millennials.
Yeah. So what? Technically, the next generation would be Beta, Generation Beta.
Yeah, and then that's kind of funny.
Unless they get a
the generations are getting softer and softer.
Oh boy. So I mean, that's a thing.
But Alpha's supposed to be strong, so by default.
Hopefully.
By name. But I'm not, but what I was gonna say was they're gonna be the generation that grows up with AI.
Yeah.
Bro.
I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, I gotta get my son onto this now. Like,
yeah.
I have to put him on. It's a tool, and it's not going anywhere.
He's probably Generation Alpha.
Yeah,
like,
I would. Yeah.
Or he's probably on the earlier side of that.
Yeah, technically,
That's bro.
Yeah, so I'm like, I gotta put him on. It's like it's I feel like it's gonna be a sink or float kind of situation if you don't know how to use that tool. Because I started using it, and I use it for every little thing now. I wouldn't say every little thing, but more like more like the monotonous tasks, like writing an email. Like I like anytime I'm upset or I'm frustrated with like a company, and I'm like, I gotta write an email. Like that takes time and effort. You gotta like type up, put your whole thoughts. I just go in ChatGPT and it's be like, write an upset email to so and so, and and explain the problem. Man, they give me a juicy one, and I just go, wow.
Are they cursing?
No, and that's the best part. It's how you get the best response.
But you could tell them too if you wanted to.
I mean, if you wanted to.
Throw a couple fucks in there. ChatGPT.
No. I've learned a secret. Like you cannot don't throw no curse words. If you send it to any corporate.
No. I'm just joking.
Okay, don't. But if anybody didn't know, don't do that.
I was just curious if that was the default, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then you have to like censor it, like chat, calm down a little bit. You get a little too.
maybe you could put a prompt like say, if this is coming from 50 Cent or whoever.
Yeah,
that you can do that technically. Like I don't know who else is.
I don't even know what that would sound like, bro.
An upset email from so and so, like, and they was just like, okay, you'll see the difference, like.
That's a good prompt. That'd be fun to just do with different artists, like upset email from Drake.
Yeah.
Upset email from
Kendrick.
From Rick Ross.
See exactly what they say about each other. That beef stuff is crazy. I don't even want to get into it yet. Like, let's not run there. But it's like I was like, on the way here, I was looking on the phone. I was like, damn, this person dropped a track. This person down.
I'm not. Like I'm down to get into it. Like
I bet you are, but I'm not educated enough. Okay. I'm not in it. I'm not the person that you want to talk to because I'm not. I'm gonna say Drake all day, and I didn't even listen to the whole thing. All right.
Okay. You gonna say okay?
The only reason I say that because I'm not. I wouldn't put myself as a person that's a rap aficionado. That's like. I listen to rap music in a way where it's just like, okay, it's out here for the hook and the vibe, and that's how I listen to rap music. I'm not the person that's sitting there dissecting the lyrics.
But I think I was just thinking about.
I don't mean to cut you off. Sorry. I mean, I could appreciate the art form and all that. The skill, the thing, but I wanted something that I could bump to,
Yeah.
But as you were saying,
I was just gonna say, like right now, I was just thinking this morning about how DJs are probably so excited about this because this is stuff that like when I play this record in the club, everybody's gonna be singing it like by default. You know what I'm saying? like when you whichever record it is, like
Yeah.
if you play Push Ups right now, I think if you play the second or third beat switch up of Euphoria, or especially the one Drake just dropped last night, Family Matters.
Yeah.
The one Kendrick drop is gonna be hard to play in the club just because of the type of beat that it is.
Okay.
But yeah, like I think
Okay.
yeah. I think DJs are like just licking their chops right now, just like keep feeding us. You know?
Yeah, I mean, hey, right now it's hot right now, so that's what's trending, you know, and that's what's gonna get everybody.
It's like when Back to Back came out.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was.
I'm sure you spun that a lot out, right?
Yeah. When that was hot, it was
Yeah.
That
is that a world tour or your girl tour? You know what part to play and all that.
Yeah.
Like you got to play that part. You know.
Of course. That was an interesting thing. Little beef that they had at that time too. Like how that played out. But like I said, Drake's my guy.
Oh man, you picking the wrong side, bro.
Listen, like I said,
how much have you heard?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like I listen to pieces and pieces of each one. Both are good. I'm not gonna deny that. But like I said, I will always prefer Drake. Just for personal reasons, more on he makes songs.
Because you like his music more than
it's just songs.
Yeah,
I can say that. I can respect and I can appreciate Kendrick Lamar's craft and all that stuff. But that's not what I listen for.
Yeah.
I probably made some enemies out here, but it's all right.
I mean, Kendrick got some bangers too, though.
It's okay.
Kendrick got some bangers. He got DNA and Humble.
Of course, yeah, definitely. But that's what I'm saying. But in comparison to Drake, though,
yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying.
Drake
I'm looking at it in a DJ standpoint, where it's like, all right, cool. Like
you could play Drake for any vibe. Like
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I can play Drake for days in the club, and that's gonna get people moving. Like you might play a couple of Kendrick songs, but it's not gonna be as many as Drake's. Yeah. And that's just how I break it down. So.
I'll let you listen if you don't want to get into it, but like I can also update you on what's going on. Last night, shit got crazy. Shit got out of hand last night.
Yeah, I heard some personal things about people talking about people's children. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's sensitive.
I went to the movies last night.
Okay.
And my phone was dying, so I turned it off. Yeah. And the movie is over, and I'm like, I'm on like 10%, but I turned it back on, and I looked, like my homie sent me 2 YouTube links back to back, and we've been talking about this Drake Kendrick thing, so we've been sending each other shit, like, or the J. Cole thing that came out, like we just been sending links, so I'm like, I already know what time it is. I'm like, nah, no way, like 2 links back to back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just watched the movie for 2 hours. I was gone for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. How am I getting 2 links? And I'm like, no way. But I clicked the first one, and I see it's like Drake came out with a diss track to Kendrick, and I'm like, okay, that's one. I don't even listen to it yet. And I go and check out the second link. I'm like, there's no way this is a Kendrick response already. And it's a Kendrick response. And I'm like, okay, so I know what I gotta do. I just gotta listen. So I in order, go back to the Drake one. And the Drake one, he basically calls Kendrick out for beating his wife.
Oh.
Or his girl, his baby moms, who he's been I guess engaged to for a long time, but hasn't married yet, and that was also part, like in the bars. So he basically calls Kendrick a wife beater. He has this line that's actually pretty hilarious, like from a just how clever it is. He's like, when you put your hands on your girl, is it self-defense because she's bigger than you?
Wow, that's highly disrespectful,
bro.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Okay.
That was probably the hardest line in that joint. So basically that's like that's what the depth or like how far Drake took it, I think, like, which is pretty serious.
Damn.
And then I guess like 15 minutes later, Kendrick drops his response. So Kendrick already had one in the clip.
My man triggered.
Ready to go.
Ready.
And not only that, like the most recent, like Kendrick is playing mind games on another level. Like the most recent diss Kendrick had called 616 in LA, which by the way, the title alone, I gotta pull this up. There was, where did I send the screenshot? Yeah, so he names it 616 in LA, right? Yeah. Which is, this is like the level of mind games Kendrick is playing. Okay. So you know, like Drake does like 4 a.m. in Toronto, like he does that title or whatever, right? Yeah. So Kendrick copies that, right? Mm-hmm. It first appeared on his page at 6:16 a.m. Pacific time. Euphoria, which is a TV show Drake is an executive producer on, premiered on June 16th, 2019. June 16th is the birth date of Tupac, who Drake just used in an AI song. Father's Day is June 16th this year. 6/16 was the date of Kendrick's show in Toronto at the Sound Academy. Nicole Simpson funeral, and the cover art is just a glove, like a leather glove. Nicole Simpson's funeral was on June 16th, and O.J. Simpson's trial was on June 16th, 1995. So he's
so that's what that picture was about when,
bro. And then the cover art of this one, of the one that he had ready to go, is the same picture but zoomed out, and there's more to the picture that applies to the lyrics in this new diss track.
Wow.
Of like, and it's like Drake taking this Ozempic thing, which I don't really understand what it's some like weight loss thing, I think, or whatever.
A cheat drug.
Yeah. and like some pill prescriptions or whatever that has Drake's names on them or whatever with receipts. And yeah, so it's zoomed out, and I think it's all on top of like a FUBU shirt, because that was like one of the disses that Kendrick had, that FUBU was never your collection or something. But like, yeah, like he's playing mind games on a different level.
That's wild.
And in this new one, basically accuses Drake of the main two things is he basically is accusing Drake and his camp of being pedophiles, sex offenders, and that Drake is he like every verse he's talking to someone. The first verse he's talking directly to Adonis, Drake's son. Second verse he's talking to Drake's mom and his dad, almost like a letter to them, like open letter. And then the third one he's talking to Drake's daughter, basically saying like, "I'm sorry your father's not around." Basically, so he exposes that Drake has another child that he's hiding from the world.
Wow.
And then the last verse is him directly talking to Drake.
Damn.
Aubrey.
My question on this is like, how do they craft this stuff up so quickly? Like, I feel like this was like, all right, he has a little box, a little hard drive or something. Like, in the day that this guy decides to with me, we're gonna run with all of this.
It's been 10 years in the making, they say, right? Like he's been sending shots to Drake. He's been provoking Drake for a long time.
Oh, okay. So it's premeditated. This was
somewhat
already.
I mean, I think there's some of that.
Okay.
But I don't know about I think the hard drive thing is like specific. But
man, got heat-seeking missiles, man. Shoots.
Kendrick is just I think Kendrick is winning right now. So that's why I said I think you're on the wrong side.
Okay.
But like to respond directly after with the zoomed out picture, like I was ready for you, bro. Yeah. Like I was ready for you to drop some dumb shit, and then wow. So listen to it. I'm sorry I gave you the spoilers, but
it's okay.
You know I gave you the option. I gave you the out. You said speak.
Listen, I will listen. I've heard pieces of each, and I'm like, okay, this is quite impressive.
Yeah, but if you want the song that's gonna play in the club, like, you know, the new Kendrick song. I don't think that's the club song. It's like an Alchemist beat. It's like a boom bap. Like, it's a good beat. But
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say this is probably one of the greatest rap battles or thing, or like where does that fall in the hierarchy of the other ones? Like, you know, like Biggie and the Tupac.
I think it's
and,
the
Jay and Nas.
I think it's the new Jay and Nas.
You think so?
Yeah, right now.
It's up there.
Yeah, because it's two people who are at the top of the industry. You know, arguably in the prime of their careers. You could say Drake might have been like on his decline, maybe, after the like past couple albums. Okay. But the relevance, like you know, they're the two of the big three, as they put it, and it's really getting to that personal level now. It like and shit got really personal with Pac and Big, and shit got really personal with Hov and Nas. Did you follow the Hov and Nas beef?
Not exactly. I have a general idea of kind of what happened, but I don't know the in depth. Like
Jay-Z, I think it was on Super Ugly, said like the hardest line in that whole beef, like even though it's pretty much understood that Nas won that beef. With Ether, but in Super Ugly, Jay-Z says, "I left condoms on your baby seat," and that was the line. I think I don't think there's ever been a more hurtful line in beef like ever.
Yo, I didn't realize it was this disrespectful.
Yeah,
like. You see the beefs that I follow. I'm more like a dancehall guy. So like the Vibes Cartel and the Movado, that was like, you know.
Tell me about that. Because I didn't follow that.
Oh, I follow that heavy. That was like give a little backstory on me. Like I started off more in like the dancehall and reggae scene. And, you know, I actually transitioned more into, like, just more open format and started, like, playing all types of music, where soca, all that, and house and edits and remix. But to go back to that, so I started with dancehall, and I've been listening to dancehall music, like, throughout my whole high school, and that's kind of, like, when that era of, like, just everybody warmed, everybody was going on. So there was two sides to it. So there was the Alliance, and then there was Gaza. All right, and okay, my bad. I gotta rework that. It's very complicated, but it to end up turning into Gaza versus Gully, you know. But the Alliances was the precursor. And that's where everybody was cool. So they had Bounty Killer. They had who else is in there? Cartel, Movado. They had some other guys in there. I can't pull them up right now.
Who started? Because like those are two different generations, right? Like Bounty Killer was like an older generation.
Yeah, but they also had the Bounty versus Beanie. That was back in the 90s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But to say who started it, I think it was just more of like Cartel just kind of like end up jumping out of Alliance.
No, I mean like who started the Alliance? Like who started
Bounty Killer.
Okay.
That was his thing.
Okay.
You know, Bounty Killer was the OG of the 90s, and then, you know, he recruited those artists, Movado,
and that was like his label? Or?
That was, you could say so. You could say
like movement
this is
and
crew.
label.
Yeah. You know,
like Dreamville,
like Junit, like stuff like that. So that's your boys, your crew.
Yeah.
So with that,
okay. I didn't know they were in the same crew. I didn't know Vibes Cartel. Like this is all new.
It was all cool, and that was a great time. Music was great, but I mean, it got spicier when the Cartel and the Movado beef was going on, because that was gold. That was when dancehall was really, really good, you know. And Cartel ended up jumping out of Alliance.
Just for a timeline, is this around the time of like Where They Madu or like So Special? Like, is this like around that time?
I would,
because that's like peak Movado.
Yeah, okay. Around that time.
Okay.
And he jumps out of Alliance and starts his own thing, like Portmore Empire, Gaza, all this stuff, he starts that and he starts recruiting artists and he starts just dissing Alliance, and then Movado is there. That's their biggest star right now in Alliance. So he's like, all right, cool, and Movado's from the Gully side in Jamaica, Don't know specifically, but that beef, when they were just going back and forth, tune after tune after tune. I probably have like 20 tunes, diss tunes going back and forth, because the way our dancehall works, they're like rapid fire.
Yeah.
Like dancehall is so quick when they come out with tunes. Like I don't know if they saturate the market when it comes to that stuff, but they run tunes.
Well, I think it's also like it's a different purpose in a way. Like the history of hip hop. I mean, the party's always been an element, but there's a lot of songs that were like, that weren't necessarily intended for the club, right? Like, there's a lot of songs that, especially diss songs, there's like, I'm just trying to get at you. But I think dancehall music and the production is like, by default, like meant to be played out in the clubs. So like dance is in the name. So it's like, they're also trying to make like I don't think lyricism as much as the focus as people like as a in ether, for example. You're not dancing to ether. Like you put it on specifically for the lyrical focus, but like their version is like more similar to what Drake's style is, with like back to back, and
I mean, I feel like personally, I feel like it's more of like they have what we call bad man tune or good man tune, and then they have gal tune,
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like the gal tune or the dance tune or whatever, that's more like I could chill back, have a good time, And then the art, they'll have like a bad man tune, and they'll talk about being the biggest, baddest, whoever,
Yeah.
So I feel like that's where I like the lyricism. I feel like the lyricism is much better and more like, all right, we come to break it down here on this side. The gal tune is for fun,
Yeah.
But when that whole beef was going on, man, when I tell you, they like, I remember I was in high school and I made a whole CD. Like that's like prime, like when I just started DJing, and I was using virtual DJ at this time. Like I wasn't using nothing crazy. And that's when I just had all of the tunes lined up. Like I squeezed probably like 70, 80 tracks of dancehall tracks in this poor little CD. And
you should have made a cover and put them shits on the Ave and started.
I know, I definitely could. It was at that level. And it's so funny. I put my aim at the bottom. When I made the track list and I made the print, I put my aim, because that was the thing back then.
So you did make a cover?
Yeah, I made a little cover and had a track list.
That's dedication.
Yeah, I was like, and it was funny. I just found some like random picture of a bullet with blood on it, and I put it as a background, and it was named War Dem Want. All right, that was the name of it. All right, and I put all the track list, 80 tracks. I didn't let no track play longer than like probably 30, 40 seconds. But that's just the style of dancehall. It's just kind of like very fast. You juggle it. You kind of like mix into the tunes really quick and back to back, And man, that was a beautiful thing. Like that whole, I could go on for hours about it, but I don't want to do that. But like I said, that Cartel Movado, chef's kiss. Cartel ultimately ended up winning that thing. He was just more like he put that man in a coffin. He put that man in a coffin.
What was like the moment? What was the song that
if I remember, I think is Last Man Standing by Vibes Cartel.
You think that would be on Spotify?
Yes. Last Man Standing. That was the song that.
I'm a big Movado fan too. I just want to make that known.
one thing I can say, it was kind of like I've been saying in that whole beef, like throughout the whole high school era. Movado makes really good songs. He's a song guy, you know.
Yeah.
He stays in that realm, and he has good melodies and stuff like that. But when it comes to like lyrical like execution,
Yeah.
Cartel, like he be saying some shit, you know. He be saying some shit, and I'll be like, Cartel for me. Like, you know how, like, people play knock if you buck and you start getting, like, you start to play some Cartel tunes for me. That's kind of like, that gets me going. Like, you know, like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanna listen to it.
What, Last Man Standing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, right.
Let's listen. Okay.
Bad man tune that. So, like, tunes like that get me activated.
Okay,
Like,
that kind of remind me of like the 50 Cent Rick Ross beef. It's just like he's just kind of. Well, I don't. What's the story of like dressing up like police officer, like that whole line?
Well, that happened at Sting. So there was Sting is like kind of like an annual event in Jamaica, and they have like a big concert. Usually, I believe it's at the
That's
end
like
of the
their
year.
summer jam.
Possibly, like so, like it's known for having like clashes, like years and years. Like I said, they usually have like Beanie Man and versus Bounty. Who else? Ninja Man be up there. So these are all like people that used to just be clashing with each other and stuff.
They've
like
been doing verses.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, all right, cool. Like if like y'all beefing throughout the year, like all right, the summit is you come Sting and kind of like, all right, we're gonna deal with each other right now. This is the biggest show at the end of the year to like kind of like finalize what's going on with the beef, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it happened. So it was funny because he came out, what's his name? Movado came out in a police suit, you know, and he dressed up like that. That's kind of like how he, you know, his little thing he came out in.
Like
to perform.
I know, but what is that supposed to? Is that like? What's the idea you think behind that? Like, oh, I'm militant, or like, is that, okay.
But you know, it was funny too because Cartel, he ends up showing up with a whole army suit. You know, so they kind of like I don't get it, but
they gotta level each other up.
Yeah,
like.
it's pretty funny, and it was I think a very hilarious part too because Cartel brought a prop with him as well. He brought a whole casket with Movado's name all over it, like Gully Man, or like all that stuff, Baba Boy on it.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like walking around with the prop, and it's like in the background while he's performing. So it's like, it's pure comedy.
Yeah.
It's funny.
That's like some 50 Cent shit.
Yeah. Cartel definitely has 50 Cent energy. Like he's big bully,
a troll.
Yeah, he'll mess with people. Like yeah. So.
Yeah. And the whole thing was that Rick Ross was a cop or whatever.
That I remember that beef. Yeah, that was funny. But 50 Cent beef, I think 50 Cent is like one of the like people just. He's like one of the like bullies. Like everybody loves him because he be bullying people.
He bullies in a funny way, bro. Like but if you ask him, he always says like, "Oh, I don't start no beef or whatever." But like, I don't know how true that is. He likes to play the victim a lot. Like, nah, they started it. I just finished it.
Also, that's 50. Let's not even get into the Chris Brown and Quavo.
I'm not even listening to that, to be honest with you, bro. I didn't check out. I mean, I'll listen to it, but it's like over a girl, and it's just like,
okay, I'm
keeping the main thing. That's the undercard.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
I'm here for the main event.
I mean, that's the thing. Like that. Yeah. Word. Definitely for sure. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It kind of came out of left field for me. I didn't expect it. Like, you know, Chris Brown just coming, just like, oh shoot. See, you didn't listen? I'm pretty sure you listened to it. Like,
the reason why is like Quavo's not known for being lyrical, right?
Okay.
Chris Brown can rap, but is not known for being lyrical. Like, why do I care to watch an R&B dude and a melodic trap dude like get into, like, I don't expect good bars. Like, I just don't expect it. And it's over a girl.
Oh, okay.
I believe, right? That's the nature. Is over Karuchi because like Quavo's seeing Karuchi now, and like that's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, I don't get too deep in this stuff. I just see it on
I
my
just kind of
swipe up. I was like,
I just kind of followed the headlines of it. But I'm not even looking into that. I'm like, I'm not interested. When Drake, J. Cole, or Kendrick drop something, I'm interested. Or even Rick Ross. Like, even though I didn't think Rick Ross's diss was good.
Okay. But what do you also think about in that whole Drake, J. Cole thing? Like, what do you think about J. Cole's stance in this whole situation?
I think J. Cole shouldn't have responded in the way that he did, and I think that's how he feels. I think Kendrick really was coming at Drake mostly. He sent a couple strays J. Cole's way in like that, right? The song that was on Metro Boomin and Future's album. So I feel like what J. Cole should have done is just respond with a couple lines back, in the same way. Just meet him where he's at. Like, all right, if you want to go there, we can go there. But I think Drake, I keep saying Drake, but J. Cole doing an entire diss record felt like it was a stretch. I was like, I enjoyed the record, 7 Minute Drill, but like, I did feel like I was like, you didn't have to go that hard, Cole. Like, I'm glad you did. It's fire, but like, it didn't necessarily it's like when your friend because they're cool, right? Him and Kendrick. So like, it's like your friend shoves you, right? You get into a fight, he shoves you, and you just punch him in the face. You gotta let shit escalate a little bit.
There's steps to this.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? When it's someone you don't know, it's a different story. If it's someone you don't like, it's a different story.
Oh, so he's like bringing a freaking gun to a fist fight, basically. Like, bro, like I was just fighting with you. Like, you trying to shoot me, bro? Like,
exactly.
God damn.
Exactly. So I think that's the nature of what happened. And J. Cole realized that, and he's like, you know what, to be, and I do have to commend him on that. To like after he makes the mistake of doing what everyone else wanted him to do, because he's getting hit up like, yo, it's time to go, like it's wartime or whatever, and him giving into external pressure, I think was his main problem with the situation. Him realizing that, he made the whole record, he put it out, he's like, he sees the comments, and I think he's just like, this ain't sitting right with me, and I gotta clear the air just for me to feel right.
I remember seeing the clip of that on the internet of him clearing the air on that, and he was saying like it didn't feel right for him. He felt like it was some lame shit he did, and he said that. I was just like, oh, okay, well that's
but I think if he did a record that addressed what Kendrick said with a couple lines, I don't think he would have felt that way. I don't think he would apologize for that. But I think he apologized for doing an entire, I think it was just like, I didn't have to come that hard, and I wasn't moving in a way that I felt was real. Like, like he was moving, he did that for other people, and I think that's why he apologized. And I gotta respect him for doing that so publicly too, like on that stage. He could have sent out a tweet, he could have, but he put himself in the fire, and it's a real blemish on his resume right now too. Like a lot of people I know and talk to like really are disappointed in Cole, and like they're like, I don't want to hear that on the best shit anymore. Like people are saying shit like that. And
this rap beef is real.
Yeah, man.
It's real. That's crazy how all this stuff is going on.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So I have a question for you.
Talk to me.
So if you were to like, and just like follow along, walk with me. If you were to like close your eyes.
Okay, I'm closing my eyes. Damn.
And try to.
Some meditation you got here, man. All right, I'll meditate with you, man. It's all right. It's good. It's good for the soul. It's good for the soul, man.
It is. But that's not what we're doing here. But if you were to,
I'm gonna stop you if you tell me to hold your hand. I'm telling you the truth.
Damn, bro, I thought it was cool. I thought it was close, man. No. All right. Yeah, you close your eyes and you try to picture your earliest memories of being around music. where are you, and like what is that environment?
Wow, damn, you took me back. I would definitely say a very funny time. Definitely a product around, I would say early 90s, probably 96. I will always remember. Like, my pops, he had like a whole like setup in our basement, you know. It was cool. Serwin Vega, you know, like Denon, like the whole CD, the Onkyo. What else was another brand that was like Pioneer things? You know, they had that setup where it's just like everything is just kind of like fits on like a rack and just like boop, 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 boop. You got your cassette player. You got, you know, everybody had that setup when they, you know, grew up. But my pops had a good one.
Not everybody, bro. Not everybody.
Oh, don't do that to me. Stop.
Nah, I'm just like,
okay.
No, because I think about this all the time that we gotta like appreciate, like when we're young, we don't appreciate how unique our situation is. Okay. Some people grow up like with parents that just like don't really listen to music in the house. That's another world. Like I don't get that. You know,
that's true.
But you've been in my crib, so you seem like my pop's setup. So similar, like your pop's version of that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, your pop's setup is nice. Like mine's wasn't as nice. Like it was. You see, so I guess that makes sense now. I could see it now from your perspective. Yeah. But it was not. It was nice at the time, and it. You know, I was a kid. You know, that's all I knew. I said, "This is nicest shit ever." You know.
Yeah. So. I mean, all the shit that you mentioned, my pops had like it doesn't feel like I relate to it. It doesn't feel like like dissimilar. Like Serwin Vega, my pops got that.
Yeah.
You know, the Pioneer, Reverb or whatever. Like, all that shit, cassette decks, all that shit sounds familiar.
Yeah, so we had that whole kind of setup going, and I used to just go downstairs and mess with, like, just listen to all the different cassettes, like, my pops would have. Like, my pops, old school Trini guy, you know, rest in peace, Mr. Cutty. But he had all these cassettes, and I used to just go downstairs and I used to just like pick each one and I used to listen to it. I'm like, oh, because he used to go to Trinidad every year, never missed a carnival. My pops, heavy Trini guy, never missed a carnival. When he came back, he always bring back cassettes or either CDs of just all the new music that came out. So 6-7-year-old me, I would always want to listen to it, you know, like soca music, calypso music has been literally ingrained in me since I was small. Like that's one genre of music that I stayed with my whole life. Like I picked up genres here and there, and I'm like, okay, I added stuff on and stuff like that. But soca and calypso music is what I've started from, and I listen to that. So it's like, I kind of like see calypso and soca, well, more so soca music. Soca music, I would say that's kind of like the dance house soca, like sound of the Caribbean. Like I would say like R&B is like the reggae of the Caribbean.
Also like trap. I think trap and dancehall.
Well, no, I was gonna get to
dancehall's under reggae.
I would say more like dancehall. Dancehall would be more like the hip hop and rap.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And like
they call it reggae dancehall. So I look at dancehall as like part of reggae.
Okay.
Reggae being the umbrella category.
Okay.
Because they do call it reggae dancehall, right? Like
technically, yeah.
Okay. But, sorry.
Yeah, well, I guess I see reggae in a way like more like the slower, like the Tory Barris Hammond. Yeah, I see reggae as that, you know. So that's how I grew it.
But that's dancehall too, though. Like the OG. I watched this documentary, so I already sound like a visitor. But like, on the origins of dancehall, and it was like I think Barrington is considered like the forefather, or like the person the pioneer of dancehall, like the person who started. That makes sense. So that whole sound at that era, because I think Barris is part of that. I think Gregory Isaacs is part of that.
Yeah.
I think that whole era, Dennis Brown. I think that's like all like the beginnings, and then it just became its own thing. In like when Shaba came around, then it was like something different.
Super cat and those cats,
it was different.
Yeah.
And then now,
and
then Vibes, and when Vibes came and Movado,
yeah,
that was also something different from Shaba.
yeah,
You know, that was like so we've seen generations, but like I think, sorry, I don't, but. Yeah, you can continue. I didn't want to.
Oh man, I kind of now I lost
derail.
my thought.
Yeah.
We got got a nice tangent there.
But we were talking about so you're saying like soca calypso.
Yeah. So that's kind of like how I see all those genres, and I guess I'm tying it back to like the times when I was like. Used to listen to my pop's cassettes and all that stuff, and I just always remember every carnival he used to bring those things back, and I would listen to those things like back to front, and I would try to like kind of like remember what songs I like and all that stuff. And this is when I just got my computer, and around these times when I used to go run on the computer and I'll try to download it. That's when I think in the early times of like LimeWire and Kazaa and Morpheus, all the file sharing stuff, and boy,
it take a whole day to download like 3 songs.
Oh boy, I saw that's kind of like where my love of like music started from, because my pops had a collection. He has vinyls and all that stuff. So he would I would just go hear the song. I'll be like, all right, cool. Let me see if I can find it on the internet. Same thing. I'll go listen to a cassette. I'm like, oh, that's a nice cassette. I like this song. All right, cool. Let me go on the computer see if I find it. And I used to just type in like versions of the name. I used to go even deep where I used to go on forums online. I'm like, do you guys know a song? This song and because back then they didn't really label everything correctly. Like, it was literally like a blank, like, TDK cassette, and it just said Soca 1997. That's it. Or Calypso 1990 this. And I used to just go listen to it, and I was like, okay, well, I guess I got to figure out how, like, what's the name of the song with the hook and the chorus. Okay, it got to be this song, and I would do that. And that's how I kind of started my whole music collection. Based off of that, just going online, trying to figure it out, downloading. I'm just like, and I took pride in it, because I was like, yo, I gotta keep all these songs. My pop's bringing this back.
And this is in '96. This still?
I would say between '96 and 2000s.
Okay.
So around that area. So I have like folders of just like Party Soca 1999, Soca 2000, Soca 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it just keeps going. Like, and I just kept doing it. And then also I was like also learning about dancehall, and then I also added in like a hip hop folder, an R&B folder, all these stuff. So I just kept going and going and going and going, and then and then somebody just told me like, hey, yo, you got a lot of music, man. Like, you should do something with it. I was like, oh yeah, I should. So.
Sure.
So I would probably play music at like our our family barbecues and stuff like that. It was funny how we used to play music back then.
I want to get to that. Like in the context of your dad bringing music, was your dad and him having a setup? Was he DJing?
No, it was more like he just had the setup, and he kind of like let it
so
play.
just a fan of music and and probably
a collector. He was a collector himself,
and somewhat like, I guess, would you say he was a fan of like sound system culture?
Not too deep. I would say he like a sound system,
Yeah.
So
okay.
So I mean, in the later years, I ended up getting a bigger sound system than him, but he liked it. So it was nice to kind of like be like, yeah, I'm the big dog now. Like, so it was nice.
Nice.
It was nice. I mean, he liked it. So whatever he liked, it made me feel good. And if it make him happy, it make me happy.
So who had the setup for you to like? What was the first DJ setup you were spinning on, and whose did it belong to? Who like
Mm-hmm.
you to DJing?
Wow.
Start because you said it was in the backyard, right? Those are
Okay,
your first.
yeah. So how that happened was it was funny. I guess my first technical gig was one of my high school friends I guess birthday parties, I believe so. And I just brought 2 computer speakers and a subwoofer to my friend's house, and I had a virtual DJ on there.
Yeah.
And because I had that collection over like just, I guess, several years, and this is when I'm like 18 now, you know. So that's like one of like, I just remember that moment was like, all right, let's take this serious. So I go over there, I bring my stuff over, and I'm just like running tunes on my laptop. I'm like and this is all virtual DJ syncing everything like press sync.
Okay, so you're on the laptop already. You weren't on the vinyl.
No, I didn't touch the vinyl. I had access to vinyl. I just like that's a whole different world for me.
Okay.
I was a digital kid, you know.
Interesting, because I know you're nice on the 1200s.
Yeah, that took time, man.
Okay. We'll get there.
Yeah. So so I was messing around with that. I mean, prior to that as well, I also messed around, like I said, with the family barbecues where it would be funny where we had a portable CD player, like the little small one. And then we had the actual Denon 5-disc changer CD player as well. So we plugged the portable one into one line, and then we plugged the 5-disc one into another line. So that's kind of like how we started. And this was like me and my brother messing around when we were younger. And we used to just run the sounds. Anytime we had family barbecues, we used to run it. And we just like switch out CDs. I'm telling them.
But you can't like control. Can you control tempo with those things?
Hell
right?
no.
Yeah.
So there was no like actual like good mixing.
Yeah.
Like everything was hot garbage. Hot garbage. Like, but back then I didn't know about BPMs and beats per minute. It wasn't that. It was just like, all right, cool. Just play. Just make sure. All right, when this song done, cut in this song. When this song done, cut in this song. But you know, it's more about the selection. It wasn't about the transitions.
Okay.
So we're grateful for that.
Okay.
So.
But we're even skipping already. So like you're at that your friend's high school party.
Yeah, let's get back to that.
Yeah.
We jumped out of there to get back to the high school party.
You're on
that was
virtual
the most crucial.
DJ.
Virtual DJ, running tunes. I'm like,
were you nervous at all?
Honestly, no, because you know what's so funny?
You knew you had the collection type shit.
Yeah, I was at that time like, that was probably like one of the better times for me because I was like. I was so into what I was into, nobody could have told me anything. You understand? And that's like, that feeling was beautiful. Like I knew like, yo, like when I used to get into something, I would spend time.
You was prepared.
I was prepared. Like you couldn't tell me nothing. Like what? I knew these tunes inside and out, back to back, like front to back.
How much had you been practicing on virtual DJ? What who introduced you to that? Even leading up to.
I don't know. Honestly, tell you the truth, I don't know. I think I just like, that was one of the things that just popped up on Morpheus as well, or Kazaa or something. It was like, oh, you got a free download of this shit. So I double clicked that. Okay. And it was free. So I was like, I'm just messing around with it and kind of thing and see what's up, you know?
And how long were you doing that before the party?
I would say probably 2-3 years. That's when I made.
Oh yeah, so you were ready.
Yeah. So 2-3 years, like I'm like.
And did you always have that intention when you started getting good at it? Like I'm gonna do this at a party or sometime. Like
no, it was honestly just I just wanted to make mixes. I wanted to make mixes for myself, and I wanted to, and that was probably like from 16 to like 17 in high school. That's when I originally made that first Water Want CD.
Yeah,
that was then. That's all I wanted to do. I didn't really care about like being out there in the party. I was just like, these mixes are for me. I like it, and everybody gets to listen. You know.
And would you say that was like your, like you attempting to recreate the mixes your pops was bringing over? Like, was it that influence that you're like not necessarily genre wise, but just like, oh, I want to make something like this, like just like a cassette or a CD or something that just like has a bunch of songs that I love or whatever that is.
I could definitely say that's where it probably stemmed from, because
Word.
it was just like, it was nice just to have like a set of music that you like in the order that you like it, and you could play it for whatever you're doing or whatever, like a car ride or whatever. You put it in, pop, and like, all right, cool. Just the way I like it, you know?
Yeah.
And that was kind of like my thing, and I just kind of ran with it. So like I said, I made that CD during high school. Then, like I said, the first actual time that I was outside of my house to play music for people was that birthday party for my friend. And man, did they have a good time. I'm playing tunes, the mother's loving it, auntie loving it, everybody's loving it. And they're just like, man, it's like, yo, Dion, you should do this seriously. I was like, you know what? I should. Simple like that. And then I started doing research, and I started like, all right, cool. Like, what's the next step? And I started Googling stuff. So I just started learning about sound system culture. And then I ended up, it was funny, I ended up linking up with a Brooklyn DJ out here. My boy DJ Crush. This was funny because I found him on YouTube. That's how I linked up with him. I found him on YouTube, and I was just like looking for stuff. I messaged him, and I was just like, "Oh, okay, like, hey, I see you got some, cool speakers and a DJ setup. Like, what's good? Like, what you really into, and what we gonna do?" So I end up linking up with him in person, and he kind of like he was also a student of the game as well too. So, but he was probably like a step or two ahead of me. So he was already in Serato. I wasn't there yet. And then I got into the world of Serato, and then I was like, whoa, this is a little too advanced for me. But I was like, you know what? Nah, I gotta learn this.
Is that the early days of Serato?
Early day. That was Serato Scratch Live. So I would say this is now. I'm probably like in my 20s now, 21. Yeah. So that's probably like, what year was that? Like 2010, probably? Was it? Yeah, probably around then. So early days of Serato, and learning how to scratch, understanding like, oh, okay, it wasn't like sync friendly back then. So everything you had to like kind of like do manually. You had to know how to mix. And you had to learn how to like kind of like make sure that the tracks are in sync with each other on your own. No sync button, it's none of that
and
stuff.
then the meter that lets you do the jog wheel or whatever. Where
So you have to like,
they didn't have none of that.
Man, we used to DJ on some pieces of crap. So everything was really not like the goal was pioneer. Everybody wanted a pioneer, but we couldn't afford it back then. We were broke.
Yeah, so you stuck with the Newmark or the Gemini? Which was
it?
Something.
I had some little Denons.
Denon's
Denon's good, but I had a small baby Denon. Like it wasn't like it was an entry level Denon. So I was like, all right, cool. I get in, I get in the party like that. But it was just funny like how we used to struggle. And then we always had that one friend that did have a Pioneer. So we always used to try to like borrow his joint. And it was so funny. Like back in those days, like it was like people were so broke. We had a mixer, the Scratch Live box, and just one CDJ. That's it. You could rock a party with that. And it was fun. Like usually typical setups will have the two CDJs, but nah, we didn't have the money. Like you get one CDJ, and you used to just do instant doubles in it, and you used to just do your thing, scratch mix, and then you just put it in it, put it on one side, and then you do the trick in the computer, and then you get it back, and then it's like,
what's the instant doubles? Break that down.
Instant doubles. So basically, it duplicates the track that's playing on the right to the left, and vice versa, or the left track to the right track. So let's just say you have one track playing here at this speed, and let's just say the left side is internally on the computer. So when you're playing it on the right side, you just do you load the same song at the same time on the left side, and then it basically mirrors that. So now you can move the fader to the left side, and then now you can load up a new song, which you can now control with the CDJ, and that was just how the trick was. So you do that, and then when you're ready to mix your song in, like, all right, cool, I'm mixing. Then I mix it into this. I get to this song now on the right side, send that song, mirror it into the left side, and then send it back. And just rinse and repeat. So that was the poor man's version of like trying to like get busy and get down.
I was talking to K Marco about this, that like, but these are the things that at the time you don't know it, but it's preparing you to be like, it's already making you a better DJ.
Yeah.
Like the person who just starts with all the bells and whistles, like they don't have that experience of just like, like once you have that experience, there's so much worry that goes away because you know, like worst comes to worst. I've done that before.
Yeah.
You know, like where I've mixed on one, you're like, all right,
true.
Guess I got to go back to, you know, my foundation.
That is very true. I've had like a couple of nightmare scenarios play out where it's just like I had to play completely internally, you know, where I didn't have any control of any CDJs or something going on. So it would just be like live in a party and it's like, all right, Serato's not picking up.
And that's not fun.
It's not fun. It puts you in like a tough position, but it kind of like challenges you. And it's a beautiful thing. Like if you know how to just stay calm and you just like, you know what? Like you don't have to mix everything perfect. It's just like kind of like, all right, cool. Just hit it to the cue and just kind of like just make sure it mixes and you can finesse it. You can make it work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But it keeps you on your toes. Tell you the truth, so.
Yeah.
Boy.
But having that experience, you're just like, all right, I've done it before.
Yeah. I think when did that happen? Like recently, I think I had forgot my vinyls for some event, like probably
your scratch vinyls.
Yeah,
like the
Strato. Yeah, the Strato vinyls, and I forgot them, and then I had to just like run a whole set internally. And I was just like, damn, like, I really came here with intentions of, like, kind of getting a little busy on it, like, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, you can't really just beat yourself up. You just like, the show must go on, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Show must go on. You gotta just figure it out, play the track, and try to mix it the best you can, you know? And see what happens, you know? Usually it turns out fine because people are not really like,
Yeah.
They don't care.
People just want to,
They
just want to be in that flow.
Yeah. Once that flow is going, once you keep keeping
the
same rhythm and the beat, and the people are feeling it and they're vibing, you're good.
They'll notice when you're fucking up mixes like back to back to back.
Yeah, that part.
As long as you can stay away from that. If you flub something every now and then, it's like, all right, like people ain't really.
Yeah, once they hear their favorite tune, they're like, "Oh, shoot, all right, we're cool, we're good here." We can just get busy.
You ain't DJing for that one dude who's a DJ in the corner, like critiquing your mixes. Or, you know what I'm saying? You're not worried about that.
I had a thought about that the other day. I used to be worried about that, like in my early days, but I was like, screw that. Like, I don't care about that stuff anymore. Like, we're all DJs. We've all are at different stages in our career or whatever. Like, all right, cool, like, great. You might be a little more advanced than me, but guess what? I know this. I know what I like, and I'm gonna play it the way I like it. You know, only I could really say, okay, I messed up on that. You know, so I'm not gonna sit there and worry about some next man in the corner critiquing me. Like, I'm here to have a good time. Hey, the crowd's having a good time. Hey, everybody else having a good time, and somebody else just watching me like, oh, well, you need to speed that song up. Well, that didn't go there. Nah, I'm not worried about that. I used to, like, and I think that's, you know, I guess that's with growth and maturity in the game. Just like, you know, everybody has a different, like, vibe, you know? So it's like, it's not worth trying to compare yourself to somebody else. Because it's like, you know, just like, you know, I guess, like, painters or whatever the case, every painter has a different style. You can't sit here and like
definitively
like,
say,
oh, like Van Gogh is gonna be compared to like a Basquiat or something like that. Like, they're both great artists. Like, why can't they just be both great in their own kind of respective ways? You know, so that's just how I see it. So everybody has their own little element that they want to add in as a DJ. And for me, you know, like, my whole, I guess, ethos on DJing is, like, I wanted to be the person, like, I came from that, like, dancehall, soca, reggae, calypso background, and I enjoyed house music and also rock music, pop music, all those different kinds of things. I enjoy all those things, and I wanted to, like, bridge that gap together. Because I feel like in the dancehall, reggae, and soca scene, they're not very open to, like, the house or the EDM. And it's like, if I go to, like,
I mean, every scene is not really open to other genres typically.
yeah,
I feel like when you're just like deep in that scene, like the people who really like are
yeah,
ride
the
or die for
hardcore,
that.
yeah.
They're not. Yeah.
Yeah, but I want to be the person like, hey, you probably won't normally listen to this, but here, try it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like where I kind of think I'm the person that bridges the gap for people. Like, hey, you listen to Ras Diggy, hey, you're gonna hear something. You might hear a little soca, you might hear a little calypso, you might hear a little house, you might hear or a little reggae. You might hear like a R&B edit in a reggae version. And I feel like that's kind of like where that's where I kind of lie. I'm that person that's gonna bring that sound to you. That's Ras Diggy, baby.
but going back to those the cassettes. So I remember, like, you told me a while ago that your dad was like a soca head, like he
Big
was
time.
heavy into soca.
Yeah.
But you also mentioned calypso this time, which I think is interesting. So like, what are like some examples of like what would be on these mixes, especially at that time? Because when I think of calypso is like the precursor to soca.
Yeah.
And like I think of more of the OGs, the Kitsch, Calypso
Kitchen,
Rose, and all that.
Yeah.
But what was, so your pops was also listening to calypso?
Yeah.
And like what were on these like cassettes, for example? At
Definitely. We had my boy Baron. Baron, that's the god right there. That's my guy right there. Baron. They had Kitchener, as you said. It was Scrunter. That Sparrow, the mighty Sparrow. That guy, he have hits after hits after hits.
Yeah. He was like the Marshall.
That's what I was just about to say. He was definitely the Marshall of that time.
Yeah.
Like it was just wild the amount of hits the mighty Sparrow had.
But he's because he was like the bridge from calypso to soca. I feel because he has some calypso tracks.
Who, Sparrow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Sparrow
he was around for a minute.
Yeah, I feel like Sparrow was more of a calypsonian, if anything. Like,
you think so?
Yeah, I mean, hey.
No. I mean, put me on.
I mean, I would consider that. Maybe in not like in a technical sense, but
Okay.
I would think he falls more of like in the calypso arena. Then obviously it goes up to like Ras Shorty I, and then you have you said like Calypso Rose. Just let me see. Damn, you're making me dig in the mind libraries. Like,
Good.
These are Lord Nelson.
These are names that need to get said, like in general.
Yeah.
Like it's just like hidden gems,
Yeah.
like in history, like important history.
Definitely for sure.
Because I think there's more information out there about Jamaican culture than there is about like soca and calypso. Which is highly influential.
Yeah, no, it is. It's powerful music, man. It's it's been keeping me going for some time now.
Yeah. So Baron, like you said that was kind of like a big name for you. Like what would be like a Baron song that you would?
I believe it's called Somebody. That song.
Let's get into that.
Okay, yeah, we definitely can. It's. I would say that song brought me back a lot of memories of my pops, because he used to play Baron all the time, and this was like probably one of his favorite songs.
Mm.
So it was just, I think Baron was more of like a singer, and he used to just really just captivate you. And he had some good melodies. Let's not forget Shadow. Shadow was a good calypsonian too, very good. You know, like I usually like, you know, when artists pass away, like some people like get upset or stuff like that. That was the first artist I could say my eyes start to water a little bit. You know. I was like, damn, yo, because I grew up on him as well. So my pops played a lot of Shadow and a lot of Baron, you know. So, I mean, you got the Baron tune lined up for us?
Yeah.
You found it?
Damn, bro.
Yeah. Nice one, right? But these songs be mad long.
I know. We could.
That joint would be mad.
Yeah.
We'll be here for like 7 minutes here.
Yeah, I would be here the whole time, bro.
Yeah.
That shit is such a vibe, and I miss that, bro.
It's a melody. It's so catchy. It's contagious. It's like, how can't you like not want to just kind of like rock and just vibe to that, you know?
Yeah.
That's my whole thing.
I think so that's like the beginning of soca. Like that's a higher tempo than calypso, and like even because I've always gravitated more towards calypso, more because like I feel like there was just more compared to what soca has become. Calypso had a soul to it. It was very lyrical, storytelling, you know.
Politics.
Yeah. and you could hear that in early soca too. Like maybe not so much the politics, but just the soul and the spirit. Like that has such a soul and a spirit to it, bro. Like that song right there. That I don't feel like is present in a lot of soca nowadays, personally. And I think there's one artist, I think Kes is good at keeping that soul alive.
I can agree.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
But there's not many outside of that I know of.
Yeah. Kes is that person. I think he kind of like bridges the gap, like in a way where it's like very, very soulful. Very, very soulful. Like he could probably pass as like an R&B guy, honestly, if he went into that, you know, cross that border. Like he's just good. He's very talented, man. Like he's up there. I can't really think of anybody else really. Like to think about it. Like there's this other guy that I really like too. Jimmy October.
Okay.
He's good. GBM Neutron as well.
I'll write these down.
Yeah, these are people that are I believe are pretty cool. Like they bridge a gap in a way where it kind of feels like, I guess, more groovy, if that makes any sense. You know, it's something that you can see being played in different kinds of places, you know, different venues. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be like a soca party or a calypso party. Yeah. Like Jimmy October, he has like more like a nice, smooth, like real good sound to him. And like he can jump between like R&B and soca as well. I believe there was a song called Magic from Kes and Jimmy October. And that tune right there, I think if there was supposed to be like a Ras Diggy theme song, like if there was supposed to be like the sound that I would love like people to have and the vibe to have when they come to like a Ras Diggy kind of like event.
Okay.
Like that would be the song.
That's a big statement.
You know, it's kind of like smooth, sexy, and just kind of like it just incorporates all the different like sounds that I enjoy.
Let's get into that.
All right.
I haven't heard this one before.
That's my tune right there.
Yeah, I like that.
You see the vibe and the energy? Do you get that?
Yeah.
I can't explain it. You only have to play it.
Yeah. I mean, it's more of a calypso song.
You feel so?
No, just because it's like slower tempo.
Okay.
You're not hearing the
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, it's more. And I mean, they even say, which like sold me too. It's that new calypso. You know.
Oh yeah. True.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my song.
Wow. I'm curious about because there's a lot more sounds that came out of Trinidad that doesn't get as much shine, and like I'm curious about its presence in your life because there's also like in my family there's both Black and Indian people that I grew up around, right?
Yeah.
I think your family, from what I know, is like majority or if not all like Black, right?
Yes, correct.
And I think that there's like, I think it's well documented that there can be like a Black and a brown divide in Trinidad, right?
Yeah.
And which is like and you maybe, I don't know if you could even speak to this and what you know about it because you come from or you share a family tree with Ras Diggy who invented soca, and that was supposed to be the purpose of soca, which is to unite Black and brown people in Trinidad, right?
Yes.
I grew up on a lot of tassa and chutney as well, and like tassa especially is like my aunts like had to get up and dance when tassa came on.
Oh boy.
Like it was like nah. You play some tassa, I mean chutney too, but like you play some tassa, they would dance to all this like soca, all, calypso, like anything,
But
any
that
vibe.
activates them. That
Tassa, those drums. You play hot tassa, those drums, like it's over. You know, like that's a different kind of whining too.
Oh yeah.
That's high speed. That's a high tempo.
All right, but my question is, you seem like you know more about the Tassa business than I do.
A little bit.
How many members are in a Tassa band? Like, I know I see a few. I know the guy had a big drum here.
I never seen a Tassa band live. It was always music that was played off my dad's system.
Oh damn!
Because my dad was like my dad had a DJing background.
Okay.
And yeah, he his record he had the vinyls, he had crazy record collection. You've seen his setup now that he's built over the years, and his collection went everywhere from to soca, calypso, tassa, chutney, and even like he played rock music. He had like a jukebox in the crib, like. So yeah, and then a lot of like Michael Jackson and pop music too, but yeah, when it came to that, like there wasn't really much like live instrumentation that was in the household. I've seen that at your crib a lot, but or you know, I wouldn't say a lot, like a few times, but I would imagine it's happened a lot, like at your crib more than it has mine. It's happened a couple times, but more around like Parang time.
Oh yeah, oh man,
that's another music that
I love it. Oh, don't get me in there. I love a Parang time. Oh boy, you're bringing the Trini out in you, boy. You're bringing the Trini.
so like a couple Christmases, like we've had people like come over the crib and like in the band
play,
and, like, play. Yeah.
Damn, you serious? I missed that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if the last time it happened, I don't know if I knew you still. It might have been like right before. It wasn't too long ago.
I would love to come to something like that.
Okay.
I've been trying to do something like that for the past like 10, 15, 20 years now.
Okay.
Like an actual go see actual Parang band.
Okay.
In person.
Okay. But it was that real, like they're supposed to come to you, you know what I'm saying? So it was that real, they came over to our crib and just like
eat up the food and they come and they have the drinks and things. Yo, that's a whole vibe. That's a whole vibe, yo.
Yeah.
Only people knew. Only people knew it. Trust me. Listen, just come over to Trinidad, get your citizenship, and just enjoy it.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm curious about like how much, if at all, was that music played at your crib?
Not necessarily. I wouldn't say a lot, but a lot in my neighborhood. I would hear it, and I would hear it a lot outside in the streets. So I was like, You know, you knew when somebody was getting
wedding,
married.
yeah.
You knew when somebody was getting married. Toss them out outside, doing the whole thing, and it was just like, all right, cool, I'm vibing, I liking it, you know.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
So you did like it?
I did. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed that. I also, you know, chutney music. Oh man, like that's another good genre of music as well. Like I grew up on chutney as well.
You did grow up on chutney?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So not as heavy, but it was like in there as a thing. And then like in the neighborhood, like where I grew up, you know, you hear the cars driving around with it, so you know, all right, cool, that's nice.
I was just putting someone on to like one of my favorite chutney songs. I'm trying to remember what it was. But you can keep going.
And I mean, it's so funny. Like I know a lot of chutney songs, but I don't know the name of them.
Yeah.
But it was funny. I think 2-3 years ago, I was just like, nah, screw this.
I remember it. I got it.
Yeah, you got it. You gonna play
this? You don't know right off rip. Like this is the one.
That tune.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's probably like one of the biggest tunes ever.
Yeah, bro. Low key. So and I'm trying to like it's interesting to like see the different like subgenres. So like that chutney to me, if I were to describe it to a stranger, it'd be like Indian leaning soca music because it's in that same tempo.
Yeah.
But it has more of like Indian percussion and Indian lyrics typically, you know.
Sounds pretty accurate to me.
Yeah. But interesting. So you did grow up on some of that. That's cool.
Definitely. Yeah.
And
soca.
And especially like, you know, could you remind me what your like relation is to Ras Diggy?
Well, I have two sides of my family: my mother's side and my father's side. My father's side is the Jones side, and my mother's side is the Blackman. And within that tree, I believe, if I'm correct, he is, I think, one of my grandfather's brothers, or uncles, or either in that realm, you know, somewhere in that. But he's a Blackman, you know, and he's a part of that thing, and that's just how we're connected in that way. So we came, like, my grandfather he used to play the upright bass, the big, not the cello, but it's not the one that's bigger. That's what it's called, right? The upright bass. Okay. That he used to play that, and he would do that. He had a band and everything. So that whole Blackman side was just like a musical family. Like currently, my uncle, he's up in Toronto. He does he has a Caribbean fusion band called Mocha, and you know, he be out there, he doing his thing.
He ever perform in New York or something?
Yeah, not that I know of.
I would pull up.
And he's good. He's good. Yeah. He's good. I gotta show you. He's been playing some really dope stuff. He had a festival up there the other day, and he, you know, I think it was like a street festival, and you know, he had his whole crew out there. There's probably like, I would say probably like 8, probably like 9 people, like with instruments and like a singer and all that stuff, and they're going to town. I'm like, okay, like I was watching, I was like, man, they doing their thing, and I like it. So I came from like that musical side of my family, and I think that's where it kind of it started for me. I also played the bass guitar too. That was the thing too.
You played the bass?
Yeah, but I didn't know what I was doing. I was just like, I got a bass guitar, I played it, and I was like, all right. Okay. All right.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was
it's like me and cricket. Like
okay. You just mess with it.
Yeah, you go to a family party where they have a little cricket bat in the backyard. You play a little. Like,
and it's like, all right, cool. That's kind of like what happened. I had got it for Christmas. I remember I had got the bass guitar, and I was just like, maybe I could do something. Because it was so funny back in the 90s, you know, early 90s. I used to watch a lot of MTV, and like I think I saw like all the different bands, and I was like, oh shoot, I could play something. Let me be a bass guitar.
Yeah,
you know, because I've always been I love bass. love bass. Like, I don't know what's with me.
Nah, that's part of it, bro.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on, but it just, for me, I just connect so deeply to anything that has like a strong, nice bass melody to it. Like, and I follow it. And I'm like, I love tunes like that. So, so that's why I gravitate towards the bass guitar. I don't play it. So I just mess around and do that. Yeah.
Word.
Huh?
But going back to, so like I'm curious about Ras Diggy being in your family, and like it's not every day you meet someone who is connected blood-wise to someone who like created a whole genre. Period.
Yeah.
Right? So like was that ever talked about in your family growing up? Or do you feel like there was like a closer connection to soca music in your family because it was like, you know, uncle so-and-so, you know?
I mean, not necessarily in my household. Like I was pretty cool with my uncle, and I would like every time we'll go visit, we'll talk about like, you know, just what he's into and what he's doing. I can't really speak on the depth of that. I was a kid at that time. You know, I didn't really like. I was just like, all right, whatever. Like, oh, cool. That's cool that, you know, I'm related to this man, but I didn't. You know, I guess I didn't search deeper into that. You know.
Okay.
So I was just like, oh,
it's the same thing. Like you're a kid, you're just like,
yeah,
this is normal.
I was like, oh, okay, all right,
yeah.
well, that's good to know. All right, cool. And that's it, you know.
Yeah.
So I didn't bother to like really delve too deep in that, because I was just kind of more of like focused on like, all right, if they're doing their thing and they did their thing for music, let me craft my thing for music, you know. So that's just, I didn't want to be that person like, all right, cool, like, they're doing the thing. I didn't want to jump into that when I had my thing right here. If that makes sense, you know. But that's just how I saw it. So it's like, all right, great, that's awesome to have that.
Yeah,
something to have in my arsenal. But
when I think of my, I mean, my earliest beginnings are definitely just like backyard is what, like the backyard is what comes up for me. And when I think about music, and it's all this music that we just described. But then once I got to like maybe between the ages of like 11 and 13 or something, like DJ Dale's like tag lives in my head rent free still. Like I just say DJ Dale when certain songs play, when I know that they were on DJ Dale mixtapes, or like that's when I first heard them.
Is that a flea market CD?
Yes, absolutely, yes. Wow. And I feel like that was our area. I think that's like a Jamaica Queens. I don't know how big DJ Dale was. I don't know where he's from, but I just remember going to like the Home Depot, the flea market at Home Depot.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you know, my uncle would cop those CDs, and he had this little like JVC kaboom box, I think they called it.
Oh boy.
And yeah, it was just like, you know, I would hear that, and also in cars riding up and down the block, you would hear that too, DJ, like often. Was there any of that going on or being played in your crib too, or in the area, or?
Yeah, I remember some of that stuff. I definitely grew up on who was it? Close Connections. That was a DJ, and they used to put out a few CDs from time to time, and I used to listen to their stuff. And there used to be, I think, mix masters. I think I forgot the name, but yeah. Damn, you be asking some questions I gotta dig deep for, man. Like,
I mean, the thing is, like, there's not many people I could talk about this stuff with.
Oh yeah,
you
true.
know? Period.
True.
So like, and that stuff is near and dear to me. Yeah, I could talk to like older people, but like not people my age. Yeah. From this, it's like DJ Dale's and Close Connections is like it's not just a Trini thing. It's a New York, Jamaica, Queens, Trini. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It gets smaller and smaller about like people who would get that. I don't know how big DJ Dale was. Maybe people were hearing him all over the country. Maybe even in Trinidad he was selling some mixtapes. I have no idea.
True.
But as far as I know, like that felt like very regional, very very local.
Yeah.
And who else? If I don't talk about it with you.
Where I'm the one that
no one else is
I
gonna
understand.
know. Yeah,
I understand.
and those are like near and dear memories.
Yeah, that's so funny because those same people playing those DJ Dale, they'll be in the cars driving up and down Liberty Avenue, just styling and stunting, right, in the cars, like stuff like that. Oh man, you're bringing me to a time.
The song that specifically comes up for me when I hear DJ Dale, and I actually am trying to like work on a cover to the song low key.
Okay.
I hear DJ Dale's tag whenever this song plays in my head, even though it's not obviously not on the original song. But
he's awesome.
That was definitely on those mixtapes, and every time I hear it, I hear the tag in my head.
Sanchez.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah,
good times.
Yeah,
I could listen to music like that all the time. That's like good, like Sunday, cleaning your house, cooking up your food, kind of vibes right there. When you clean your house, you play that.
Yeah.
On a Sunday. You can't play it on a Saturday. It must be on a Sunday.
Yeah. Saturday's the dance hall. I
guess, right? It's the excitement. Yeah.
What do you listen to nowadays?
Wow. Damn, I might need to grab my phone for this one.
Okay.
Quick.
I mean, it's charged.
It's charged? Okay.
That's fine. You can edit this out.
Okay. You're going to do that magic where I just pop back in.
Yeah.
All right. So, as of now, what I'm listening to, two people that I'm currently listening to right now. That's doing it for me. The artist is called Cruiser. Okay. And the other person is Steve Dries. All right. These are two different kind of vibes. I mean, from all the calypso and reggae that we've been listening to.
Oh, you're talking specific. I was just saying in general. But,
in general, yeah. Okay, but no,
okay.
we're outside of calypso and all that.
Oh, yeah,
so now
okay.
we just jumped out to like just music because I'm just a music lover of all genres.
Yeah. So you said Cruiser?
Cruiser, yes.
And who?
Cruza. Cruiser. And Steve Dries. So Steve and then Dreez. So those two artists that's kind of like been okay, been vibing a little bit, been liking it. Like I know you put me on the jungle,
Yeah.
I still enjoy that album,
bro,
Volcano. That's a great album.
I still haven't watched the music videos, bro.
I know. You're killing me.
I know. I know. I keep telling myself I'm watching, and I forget.
Yeah.
I keep telling.
No, it's experience. I would say that because I just really enjoy the just every song has like a different vibe to it.
Everyone who's seen it has been on some like, yo, it's like the most amazing thing I've seen, like type shit, and I just keep forgetting to go to it. Yeah,
it's good
because I keep getting these like Drake and Kendrick links. No, I'm joking. But
I know you're wasting your time. I'm just saying, go dance around. That's what I did one time. I was just like, it was a Friday night. I came home and I was just like, I'm putting on the whole Volcano and I'm putting it on the screen and just drink and have a good time in my living room. Like that's what it was, and it was a good time. It's very like front to back Volcano, on point. Oof. But all right, before we think, let's get back to this Cruiser and this Steve Dries.
What kind of vibes is it?
Damn, that is hard to say. Maybe like an indie R&B.
Okay.
I would say
like Cleo Soul.
I fucks with Cleo Soul, possibly, but I mean it's kind of one of those things where it's just you gotta listen to it.
Okay.
It's one of those things.
I'm trying. I don't know if we're gonna get into anything else because like I have to cut out every time we listen to a song off the YouTube because like copyright.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
But I wrote those down, so I'm just curious about what you're checking out.
Nah, so that's what's been vibing with me right now. It's kind of like just like a real chilled out. It's different. If anything I could say, it's very different. It's like a different angle of like how they chose to approach this style, and it's just like
my mind goes to like Steve Lacy when you say that.
Okay.
You know about Steve Lacy?
I know about Steve. Yeah. I like this song. What is it? Did he make Inside? Was it him? Or was it? No, I think I'm mixing them up.
I don't think I know that song.
And I've been listening to this. I know I have a song here by Steve Lacy that I just be constantly listening to.
I love Steve Lacy.
So
Mercury?
Let's see.
I might have put you on the Mercury before.
What's the song that I'm listening to you liked? Yeah, I'm not tripping. I know I wasn't tripping. Steve Lacy, Inside.
Okay.
Inside.
Okay. Yeah, I was on the earlier album.
Inside.
Yeah.
That's my joint. Yeah. But definitely. That's what I've been listening to on those two individuals. The song that's been catching me is by Cruiser is Malibu. That one is kind of cool. And then the other one for Steve Dries is Darling.
Bryson Tiller's album is actually really good.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, I haven't listened.
I think it's I checked it out recently. I think it's his best project since Trap Soul.
Okay.
Because Trap Soul came out.
Trap Soul was king.
Yeah.
Trap Soul was king.
Yeah. For that to be like the first thing a lot of us heard of Bryson.
Don't.
Yeah. Rambo, 502 Come Up. Like that was, those were like anthems, bro.
Like, yeah.
And after that, like I never really quite liked Bryson the same, like in the same way that I love Trap Soul. I was like, okay, Wild Thoughts was cool. Like Exchange was dope, but it wasn't the same. But I feel like this is his best project since then. So that'd be my recommendation to check out. He's got some joints. Nice. He has a great. He sampled Rich Boy, Throw Some D's. He has a good song. Yeah, it's a good one. Nice. That's one of my favorites. Yeah.
I always like Throw Some D's on it. Like that's a fun song.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that song. I love that song. It's classic.
Yeah.
What have you been listening to? Like,
well, definitely that.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta go on the phone too.
Pull it up, man.
Dorothy Ashby.
Dorothy Ashby.
It's I've been on a weird, just like not weird, but like a interesting vibe. So like Dorothy Ashby is a harp player from Detroit.
Okay.
That made this album called Afro Harping. And it's all instrumental, like Afro jazz music.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's her name again?
Dorothy Ashby.
Dorothy Ashby.
I don't normally listen to harp players like that.
Okay.
No offense to anybody that plays the harp. It's a wonderful instrument.
Dorothy Ashby.
How do you even transport harps to gigs? That's what I want to know. You got to go to a spot that has it.
You probably have somebody that take care of that. Like
how? When you starting out?
Your harp manager.
Yeah, when you're starting out though, you don't have no manager. You don't have nothing. Like, how do you even? That's a big question.
Yeah, she probably got like a electric harp. This
is 1968.
Oh,
this is old. She's
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so this is not recent stuff. That's intense.
But for her to compose all these songs, like some of it gives me like bossa nova vibes.
Nice.
Which, like it's really interesting. And I don't know what it is. There's something about that album. Like I've been listening to it. Like it's good if you just like, especially if you just like throw it on in the background while you're working too. Like you don't have to intently listen to it. It's great for just like you're trying to get some stuff done. You want some good vibes on in the background. It's that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I've been also like intently listening to it and it was like, nah, this is really cool for me.
I gotta check it out.
Yeah.
Dorothy Ashby. What about the Cron Bin?
Krungbin, the album was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. You know what you're going to get with Krungbin, bro.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, they're going to deliver.
They're going to play some good music.
Yeah, and you know what vibe is going to be in. Like, they have a consistent product.
Yeah.
And we are here for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was received.
Yes.
Music received, enjoyed, love it.
Yes. I've been fucking with Chase Shakur.
Chase Shakur. Okay.
Yeah,
Yaya B. I that is probably like, I love Yaya B.
I heard of that name.
Yaya B. She has some nice stuff.
Okay.
I like her, but she recently dropped her album. I like it, don't love it. Like her recent, like I think I might be mistaken. Not an album, it might be an LP, but she recently dropped it, and I was really excited for it, and it was just like, all right, cool, because I still like she has some tracks that have like a lot of like reggae influences on it. And that I'm sold. Once you get me with a nice reggae kind of melody, I just like, oh, I'm gone.
Yeah,
you got me. You know, but she didn't happen to do that this time. So it was like, all right, cool. She has a track called "Me and All My Niggas," and that's nice. I like that track. That's probably the better track that's on her LP, but yeah, that's what kind of I basically been listening to. She has another track, Under the Pisces Moon. That track I play that over and over. Then there's Meet Me in Brooklyn. Those two tracks right there, like has that like nice island, like you feel like you're on the beach when you play those tunes.
Okay.
You know, and that's kind of what I like. Like I just came back from vacation. I was in Mexico, and I was playing tunes like that, and I was just kicking it at the beach, and it was a vibe, you know. So shout out Yaya Bay one time, you know.
Word. How did you come up with the name Ras Diggy? Are you Rastafarian?
Technically no.
Okay.
I'm not gonna sit here and pretend it's here. What is it, Rasta pretender? Nah, I'm not that. I'm not a full blown Rasta. That's a whole nother level of commitment.
Yeah.
You know. But you know, Ras Diggy. I had a more comical name before.
Which was
DJ Left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Left, like the direction left.
Yeah,
okay,
but
okay.
without the T.
Okay,
so
nice,
just left.
nice.
Yeah,
We don't need the T, bro.
Yeah, it's like left, man.
Left.
Yeah, so that was that's the.
I mean, that's a like the Compton thing, the Vince Staples, like North.
No,
Yeah, that's your version. It's like,
dang, that was
right.
legit left. Because technically I'm left-handed, you know.
Okay.
And I mean, there's a more stranger story behind that, but that was just just pure stupidness in high school. But it was just a nickname. So I went with that for some time, and I was just like, damn. I was like, I can't go to like businesses or places with that kind of name. I cannot, and I can't take myself serious with a name that was a joke. So I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I decided to rebrand myself. So I rebranded myself, and I was like, all right, cool. Ras Diggy. I was like, all right, well, I did dread Ras, you know, all right, cool, Diggy. And it just kind of flowed. So
the dreads represent, though, like, do your dreads mean something to you in the way that they do, or something similar to the way that they do to Rastafarians?
I don't want to sit here and get too deep into that, in a sense where it's like, all right, like, it's a thing, but it's more like I just like locks. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, hey, nah, this is something a deep connection with my soul and all that kind of stuff. That's not the case.
Yeah.
I love the hairstyle. the people that I admired when I was growing up had this hairstyle. So all those big soca artists like Marsha Montano, Bungie Garlin, who else we have on there?
Bungie cut his.
Yeah, he eventually cut it. But when I was growing up, that's when a lot of those artists had all locks, and that's who I used to look up to. So that was one of the things. So I was like, all right, well, I like that. You know, people I look up to, I want to be like them. So boom, simple like that. And eventually, that's just kind of like it became a part of me. I mean, I kind of like feel like my dreads are like my locks are like fingers, you know. Like I to cut it, it would hurt me, you know. It's
so it is connected.
I am connected. You know what they say, like the locks are the garden to your soul, you know, and that's kind of how I treat it.
They say that where like.
Okay.
That's just been like you just got that
just
from.
Saying,
okay.
And I
just never heard that before. I didn't know if that was like a Rastafarian saying. Or like,
it might be honestly, but I've heard it around, and I was just like, you know what? That kind of sounds kind of right with me too.
Yeah,
I'll go with it too. It's my locks is like God into my soul.
Yeah,
you know, and that's kind of how I see it. I'm not gonna sit here and just, you know, pretend to be something I'm not, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Word. And then the Diggy?
Diggy, I mean, you know, my first name starts with a D.
Okay.
So it kind of like just kind of goes together. So I was like, all right, Ras, Diggy.
Who's the first person to call you Diggy? Was that a name you had already or like?
No, honestly, I just threw it together. I just put everything together. I said, yo, I gotta find something that's catchy, sounds nice, kind of flows off the tongue. Yeah. It's kind of like it feels good and feels right. And I was just like, Ras Diggy.
Diggy, Jiggy, you know, like sounds kind of.
Jiggy doesn't sound right.
No. I mean, Jiggy's the thing, bro. No. But I'm saying it's of the vibe.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big like. I mean, obviously Will Smith was kind of the first, but then like ASAP also like took Jiggy? That like they also took that and like made that their own thing.
Yeah,
like just like oh yeah, that's Jiggy or that's not Jiggy.
Well, I'm Diggy in this thing, you know? But yeah.
So you know, at the top of the year,
I'm
gonna bring it back here, and this is how we'll end.
Okay.
You know, we talked about intentions this year. We talked about a lot of like execution and a lot of spiritual stuff. Like we had a really deep convo on New Year's. I think it was like New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve or something. And you know, it's a good. We're still in the first half of the year, but you know we're at a good like checkpoint. Like what is the year been like for you so far? You know, you just dropped the Soul Floating 5.
Yes.
And talk about that too, include that all together, like all that.
Oh yeah, definitely gotta pick up. Shout out All Together one time. Like come on. Like doing that. Like man, I think it's over 5 years now. Like All Together has been a thing. And it's a music label, DJ collective, and it's been a space for, you know, up and coming DJs and just a place for us to kind of like push the culture forward. You know, the remix, the edit, the house, the drum and bass, UK garage, that kind of scene. Just kind of like just push it forward, you know, because what Altogether was for me was basically a space for those people like that didn't necessarily have those the connections or the network or kind of like the people that didn't have the access to that. Like, hey, like we'll put you on our platform, like give you a voice, give you a place to kind of like play your tunes, you know. Make your mix, you know, do your thing. Because I just remember when I started off messing with SoundCloud and putting out mixes and all that stuff, like I didn't, like there was nobody there. Like I had to like really just make my own on my own. But it was just like, no, that's not how it should be. Like we should work together and just kind of like elevate each other. So that's where kind of like all together I end up linking up with Dez, and that's my partner, super cool Dez, and we spoke over time, and we just kind of like had the same kind of like similar vision, and we just like, yo, like let's make this, let's do this. Like we don't have to wait around for nobody. Like we don't have to wait for anybody to give us permission to do stuff. We don't have to wait for nobody to let us in or somebody to give us a hand out. Like screw that. Like let's do it on our own and just like kind of like just build this up and just go from there. And we've been doing that ever so, and we've been dropping ill tracks from awesome producers like Kima Jones. We have, I think I'll be Max 3K. We have other, awesome artists. And we usually have like rotating guest mix from all over the world, like people from wherever. It could be from South Africa, Germany. And that's kind of like the idea of it. Is we have a mixer is called On Location, and it basically taps into like different sounds that's coming out of all these different pockets of like the club music and what's going on out there, So it's like you get a listen in, like, oh, okay, this is the sound that's going on in South Africa. This is in Australia or whatever, That's kind of what the mission of All Together, and it kind of plays into the name. Like we're trying to bring all these different global sounds together on a platform, and not try to be on some gatekeeping shit, because that happens, it's unfortunate, but
yeah, just be dope.
Be dope.
Yeah.
Play some good music.
Yeah.
Let's vibe out, and just like we want the world to hear it,
So coming back to the question, because there was like there's a couple parts to it.
Yeah.
Like so, including all that and the vision for All Together, like how's this year gone for you so far, with the intentions you had from the top of the year, and like how do you feel about where things are heading, just in general, from a personal standpoint, from a business standpoint?
I feel good. I feel good about it. Like I feel that it's I think we're at where we're supposed to be. We're gonna start back eventually. Doing some more events coming up, so that's been kicking up. Also some other things in terms of like the Instagram. We want to do some fun things with artists and producers. So that is something that's coming in the works. So,
but you personally,
me personally,
yeah,
I feel good about. I mean, I feel like I'm getting there. I'm getting there in terms of like building what I need to build. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like. Yeah. Yeah. I've been doing like a lot of personal stuff, working on what I need to do to just kind of like, I guess, build my person, and just kind of like further develop myself, and I think I took a lot of time to focus on that, in order to kind of like achieve what I want to achieve, so I've been, really working on my mental, working on my physical, working on my health and all that stuff. And musically, with the soul flow, and it was like I took a break from it for some time. I usually drop it like I would say probably like springtime and one time in fall. Usually I drop, and I happen to miss fall, just kind of like just to catch myself. And this time I came back strong with my I would say late winter, early spring, and then I end up dropping the Soul Flow in 5, and it kind of rejuvenated that spirit in me, So now I'm just like, all right, cool. Now I'm here. I'm hungry for this.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So it's just like I guess I took a step back a little bit, and once that came in, that Soul Floating 5 came in, I just like, all right, cool. Now I'm here, strong, feeling good about what I gotta do, and yeah, I've been connecting with some dope producers, some dope guys, and we've just been kind of like trying to like, make good content, just to like push forward and just push forward the culture,
Mm.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think being in and out of focus is just natural.
Yeah.
And where like focus gets, attention gets split into and like gets pulled into certain areas naturally or whatever, and it's all a part of it. It's natural. It's all a matter of like finding balance. And the one thing about doing music seriously, or like when you've done it for this long, it's like it's out of your control to a point. Like at some point it reminds you, or you have to you get reminded of, it'll be like something just doesn't feel right. Or you're just like, why do I feel this way? I just kind of feel, and usually the answer, like the medicine, is getting back to the music. I feel
just jump back in. You have to hop the whatever barriers is there. You have to break them things out.
Yeah, and prioritize.
It's a thing.
Have you still been doing the office hours?
I've been yes. You put me onto that, and I was just like, all right, you know what, gotta do it. Like I think I may have like took a step back because I just dropped the Soul Flow 5.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, great. I get to like kind of chill out a little bit. I don't necessarily have to be on the P's and Q's, but it's like instead of focusing on the craft, like I'll focus on different aspects of the music. You understand?
Like what, for example?
Probably I'll probably do like things on like social media, connect with people, talk, and just kind of in that realm.
Yeah.
And just kind of build off of there.
Word. Yeah.
Man.
So yeah, it reminds you. It just, music is really like, the art is the ultimate teacher. It just, it humbles you, and you just remember like, yeah, this is where I'm supposed to be. I'm a creative. It's within me. It's involuntary.
Yeah.
And yeah. On that note, I feel like we're at a good point to stop here. But thanks for coming on. We
of course, man.
We talked a lot about the past in this episode, and like I said, I don't get to talk with many people about that, so I appreciate you just for being you, and being someone who I can relate to in that way when we have these conversations.
For sure.
I'm sure I'll have you on again at a later point in the future, and we'll talk more present and future stuff, and maybe more past stuff, because there's so much there.
Oh yeah, I'm here, man.
Period. But yeah,
I'm here, man. I'm down for this. This was a pleasure to have me on. Like, I'm grateful. Shout out my man Serge. He's doing it, man. SXRGCAST. I like this. I want to see more. I want to see more of the YouTube stuff that you've been doing, and I've been enjoying that. I showed a couple of my folks, and they like it.
But the podcast episodes, or
both. I showed a piece of the podcast and the
documentaries.
The documentary, yeah, that one.
Okay.
They were like, "Oh, cool!" Like it's the style that's doing it. I love it.
Word. Thank you, bro.
Yeah. So keep it up. Keep up the good work, man.
Thank you,
there
bro.
We go.
All right.
All right. Oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.